And alright guys, welcome along to another episode of Martin's World, and today's 420 news. It's Friday guys, so it is high day, and hope you're all well out there guys. I think I just about made the 420, just finishing up filling up my bag here as well guys, so just give me one more second and I'll be properly with you. There we go. Oh yes, look at that, like. Oh, we love these volcanoes, they're fucking great. One downside though is they're fucking noisy. Hope everybody's good out there guys. Hopefully don't get no drop frames today. Hopefully the stream goes out to you fucking just loud and clear. See a couple of you watching out there already guys. Get your comments in guys, and let me know how you're doing. Let me know what you're smoking on. Let me know what you're planning for the weekend. And guys, don't forget we're just over or just under 5 weeks away now to 420, so get ready guys. Yeah, just 5 weeks this Tuesday I believe it is. Yeah, 5 weeks this Tuesday. So right, on with the news we go. Apologies guys, I have just 4 bits of news for you today guys. As I say, I've been trying to take a bit of time off. I wasn't even going to go live today actually, as I said to you last week I was going to take the week off. I still ended up going live Monday with John. I ended up doing a 420 on Wednesday, which I said I was going to do anyway, but the Friday I was supposed to take a day off today again. But look, I'm on top of stuff. I'm being nice and productive, and I managed to make some time today in order to bring ye some 420 news this evening. So Friday high day guys, I gotta keep the tradition going and get nice and baked as we're delivering the news to ye. As I say, I got 4 bits of news for you, and the first bit of news, it's to do with a cannabis grower who was caught growing some cannabis last year. And he was up in court recently, and this man who was caught growing cannabis, it's after emerging that he had convictions back in Lithuania for murder and rape. That's quite fucking shocking, to be fair. Crazy stuff. Like this guy who was growing the cannabis, he came to Ireland back in 2019. He didn't have a whole lot of English. He found it difficult at the time to get a job, so he says. And he partnered up, or he was recruited by this Russian guy. The Russian guy provided him with a house and all the equipment that he needed for growing the cannabis. How long the guy was growing cannabis? I suppose he got caught in May, so he was growing for over a year. So this guy was growing and benefiting from the illegal trade of cannabis, guys. Like, so somebody out there was supporting this rapist and murderer. You know, I wish that wasn't the case. I wish there was more transparency around the whole sale and supply of the cannabis, but sadly there's not. You know, you just don't know who you're supporting when you're buying your cannabis. You know, at least with Little Collins, you know, you can see JP and his wife, the owners of the store, and you know, like yourself, the character of those individuals. You know, I've had JP on the show and he's a nice guy, so I'd have no problem supporting that business, and that's what a kind of an open, regulated more transparent economy would bring, as opposed to the current state of prohibition, where you have to get your cannabis off of now rapists and murderers. It's literally like we're actually getting our cannabis from rapists and murderers and people who exploit people, you know, slavery and all of that stuff that goes on. You know, I wish our government, our politicians would enable us to support our own, you know, support people who actually want to do well within a community, rather than these literally criminals. Like, that's what they are. They're criminals who are coming in now and are growing and selling cannabis. They're not criminals because they're growing and selling cannabis. No, these guys were rapists and murderers before that. Like, these are organized crime gangs coming in, making massive amounts of money. This guy got caught with when he got caught last year, he was coming out of his back shed when the cops pulled up to search the house. The back shed was after being converted into a grow house then, and he had inside of there what they valued at €66,000 worth of cannabis. So this guy he was up in front of the judge. He's 40 years of age, okay? He was done for 4 years for rape at the age of 19, and then he was locked up for 14 years at the age of 23 for murder. And then he finds his way over to Ireland and starts growing cannabis. Like, isn't that great? Like, that prohibition has enabled this guy to do so well for himself. Again, I suppose an interesting one within this case is that the judge, again in this, he's after giving the man an opportunity to go home. Do you know, he's after giving him a 15-year no, he gave him a 5-year sentence, and he said this sentence will be suspended for 15 years if the person returns home to his home country of Lithuania. Again, I think that's discriminatory against us here. You know, if I was to be growing cannabis, if the cops were to pull up here now and they were to catch me with €66,000 worth of cannabis, where do I get to go? Where's my opportunity to go home? Do you know, back to my home country, if you will. This is my home country. Like, this is bollocks. Like that. There's people who can come from other countries. Do you know, like this guy will go back to Lithuania now, and he'd be, lads, go on over there and start growing a load of cannabis. Like, you know, all these rapists and murderer buddies, like, go on over there to Ireland and start growing cannabis, because if you get caught, lads, they're just going to send you home. And we're stupid enough too. We're probably paying for this fool's flight home and everything. Like, it's mad, like, isn't it? Absolute bollocks. Like, just a complete failure, caused by prohibition again. You know, where this guy, he was done for murder and rape before, so that's probably the reason why he had difficulty getting a job in Ireland, because of his criminal past. Like, you know, who wants to hire a guy who's after raping somebody and then murdering a person as well, like two separate occasions, like two serious fucking crimes. Like, you think after the first rape your man would have learned his lesson in prison and not want to do it again, like, and not end up behind bars, but obviously he went off then and murdered somebody again afterwards. It's madness. Like, you know, again, like, I would much rather that this guy wasn't able to get a job in the cannabis growing industry, if it was legitimate here, but because it's illegitimate, it's simple for him to walk in. He just meets his Russian buddy, and his Russian buddy is probably another rapist. Who knows? Like, it's just fucking sick. Like, Frank Fian and all the boys in this support this kind of nonsense. Like, mad, like. So, other news, guys. Up in Drogheda, there was again drugs detected after a cop, excuse me, after the cop stopped and searched a car. So in Drogheda, there was a car stopped and searched, and inside the car they found over €180,000 worth of drugs. There was 110,000 worth of sorry, that's the old vaporizer there. She gets ticklish. €110,000 worth of cannabis, and there was 70,000 worth of cocaine found inside of there. Again, guys, like, there's no reason for cocaine and cannabis to be getting found together. Like, the only reason it is getting found together is because of prohibition. Do you know, had we have had a legal avenue for people to go and actually get their drugs, you know, they wouldn't be getting exposed to this. Like, this is your cannabis and your cocaine here on the table, seized by the Gardaí. But again, the only reason they're together is because of the ignorant politicians and the ignorant policies that they have in place. Again, you know, if you go to Spain, you go into one of the cannabis clubs, you are not going to find cocaine and cannabis together. You're very unlikely to do so, because why would they do it when they've got such a good little system going over there for themselves? They're not going to jeopardize it. You know, the only people who do that are organised criminal gangs who want to make a load of money. And how do you make a load of money? Well, you diversify. You sell multiple things. You know, you don't just sell one thing. You diversify. And again, the person who's putting these drugs together, like, they're not going to get caught. They're well far removed from it. Like, that they pay the money, and somebody else actually does all the dealing and all the moving and stuff. You know, it's crazy to think. Like, and up in Drogheda again, the violence that goes on with that. All fueled because mainly of cocaine. From what I'm hearing up there, is cocaine is the big fuel, keeping the violence on the streets. You know, where young fellas are getting chopped up. You know, it's just sick stuff going on. Thoughts on full scale drug decriminalisation coming in from Ian. Yeah, we need, like, the war on drugs has failed. You know, we don't need to criminalise any drug users. You know, you need to decriminalise all the drug users, and the government need to get their heads out of their arse and define what is a safe and effective way in which these drug users can get access to their drugs, where the trafficking of the drugs, you know, it wouldn't even be regarded as trafficking then. It'll be just the transport of the drugs from one country to the other. Would not be done by people, you know, who are being taken advantage of along the way. You know, you hear the horror stories there in Bolivia and stuff where there's farmers that their families being murdered and stuff because of the trafficking of cocaine. It's mad. Like we need to decriminalize it and come up with sensible ways in which people get access to this stuff. Like if there's people out there want to use cocaine, who am I or you to judge them for that? It's just it's wrong. You know, I would like to use cannabis, and I don't want to judge anybody else for their ones. Even people who wants to be abstinence, people who wants to live an abstinence free life. I don't judge those people either. Like, you know, they're entitled to do it. Do you know, I'm not going to be like, oh no, you can't live an abstinence free life. No, you have to do drugs. That's stupid. Like why would it be so judgmental? But obviously the abstinence people are very judgmental to us. Not all of them, but a lot of them. You know, saying no, you have to be abstinent. Yeah, full scale drug decriminalisation, because otherwise you're going to see more shit like this, where a father who held cocaine to pay off his son's drug debt is jailed. And this is an alarming one, really, when you think of it, because this son of this man in his 60s had racked up a €50,000 drugs debt. And within this article, or within from the courts, the father made it clear that he was only getting €200 for the facilitating the transport of €70,000 worth of cocaine. Now, again, guys, this father, 60, he was probably naive. He probably doesn't even know the value of cocaine. As like go back to the last one there, and you see the cocaine on the front down to the bottom of the photo here. Like, look how small that is. Like that's 110,000 worth of cocaine there on the table. Or sorry, that's 70,000 worth of cocaine there on the table. 110 of cannabis. Like, look at the difference actually. 110 of cannabis. Look at the amount of cannabis that's there. 70,000 worth of cocaine. And look at the volume that's there. So you just double the volume of the cocaine, and you've exceeded the value of the cannabis. Therefore, you know, if you're a person transporting this, you know, there's more money in cocaine, I suppose, in terms of volume. But again, I suppose just going back to the father, like how is he going to know that this little package is worth 70,000? He doesn't. Like it's no bigger than a bag of sugar. And he naively put it in under the driver's seat of his car, went down the road, and he got caught with it. Mad to think like that of that happening, like, you know, and how possible it is, like a €50,000 in debt. Like I can't imagine how he got that amount of debt. Like I'd imagine he wasn't snorting it anyway. That's for sure. You know, the father anyway was sentenced to 3.5 years in prison, but suspended the final 2.5 years on strict conditions. So this father, now 60 years of age, is going to spend a year of his life inside, behind bars, inside in a prison, because of trying to help his son. Foolish of him, yes, but like desperate situations, and people make foolish decisions. And you know what is a very desperate situation? €50,000. I'd imagine there was probably bullets sent to their house. Hey, sort out this debt there, or we're going to sort it out ourselves. And violence is the answer for these guys. So the father just seen, you know, all right, I'll do it. The son probably encouraged him, you know, Dad, you've never been caught before, you know, you've a clean slate, there'll be no attention towards you. I can just see it kind of happening, the scenario playing out, like where the father is convinced to do this to help his son, and now he's behind bars. And where's the politicians, where's the judges speaking up on this to change the way that they're not, because they're all benefiting off of the system. How has this father benefited? He thought he was going to benefit, you know, by helping his son, I suppose, in that regard, but he hasn't at all. His son now still has that €50,000 debt on his head, and he's one dad down as well on top of it for a year. That father probably was the only thing giving him clear guidance in his life, although the dad made a foolish decision himself. Like, but like it's important that a kid or their sons have their dads in their lives and not removed. And he's obviously he's only in prison, but like being in prison, he might as well be a million miles away. So yeah, again, another failing of the war on drugs, another person losing out, and again, the only people benefiting are the criminals, the politicians, the judges, the guards, the solicitors. They're all benefiting off of this, while this man now is going to suffer and go to jail, while the drug users out there still aren't getting quality assured drugs. They're still getting their drugs from the John Gilligans, if you will, because obviously he popped up there recently because his court case failed there in the courts of human rights, the European courts of human rights. But yeah, look, I didn't even want to cover his news anyway. It wasn't worthy of 420 news. Fuck him. John Finnegan is saying, I have a feeling my phone is suddenly going to collide with the wall very soon. Fucking no charge holding battery. Oh man, sorry about that. Hopefully you might have your laptop nearby so you can get keep watching the 420 news. Terry is saying, saw you on telly the other night eating with the enemy. Very good. Did you know you were being matched with somebody that was an ex-addict? It was very good. You did very well. I didn't know I was being matched with a person who was who was going to be an addict. I had no idea who I was going to be sitting across. Who I was hoping maybe a guard or a solicitor, somebody like that. I was happy with who I got anyway. It was a very enjoyable conversation with Bernard. Eating with the Enemy, guys, episode 3, if you haven't seen it, it's up on the Virgin Media player right now, so you can go watch that if you wish. Other comments coming in there. Ken is saying, son probably got caught with 50k worth by Gardaí and still owes debt. Yeah, there you go. You know, the Gardaí got the son into debt by taking the cocaine off him in the first place, and now the father is getting locked up as a result of it afterwards. And again, like, the son wasn't able to go to the Gardaí. Imagine the son going to the Gardaí and saying, oh, come here, I did the cocaine you took off me last week. I'm getting death threats now because of it. Will you protect me? They're probably not going to protect him. They're going to be like, no, it's your own fault, man. Sort it out yourself. And this is how he sorted out, unfortunately. You know, the dad is going to the jail now. And nice one, Mustawa is there as well. I see that super chat coming in, man. You're a legend as always. Happy high day, everybody, from Mustawa is. I'm going to take a big old puff there for you, man. Oh, where's my Ishka, actually? A sip of water always helps after the vape with the tickle. Tristan is asking here, is it looking like weed will be legal or decriminalised in the next few years? In the next few years, 100%. In the next year or so, I think that's down to the people. I think it's definitely possible. I always believed it's possible that people can get cannabis legalised. If the people, I believe that people have so much power. I really do believe in the democracy and the power of protest and stuff like that. I've seen it change things in my time. Not it hasn't been very effective, I suppose, but we haven't really engaged in protests in the ways in which I would like to see us do it. Like I was having a conversation earlier today with Mick Barry, and he was talking about the old days of when condoms were illegal, and he brought up an old activist in Cork. What was his name? Arthur Leahy, I think. Arthur Leahy, I think he said his name was. Who himself and Mick used to be going around, and they were fitting condom machines inside of venues in the city, and these were illegal, and they were there with the media and stuff, and they were saying like, come on, come arrest us, like, you know. But what, as Mick said, that was a life and death situation, that because of AIDS and all of this, that condoms were essential for health and stuff like. So again, I think this now highlights, like, this is a life or death situation. People like €50,000 worth in debt. Like, don't tell me this isn't a life or death situation. So I do believe civil disobedience, guys, will change things, much like it changed things for condoms, what else was there? Yeah, condoms, the abortion pills and stuff like that. There was a lot of civil disobedience went on, and it helped change the ways that things happened. So I do believe in people power can change things. And I hope to see as many people as social distancing allows on 420. Guys, 420 Cork City, a little protest of my own. Only come with if you're within whatever guidelines might be allowing on the time. If it's within the county, hopefully it's within the county. And again, you know, try to keep your distance. Bring your masks if you're at all worried. Yeah, let's have a nice day. Cannabis Liberation Day on April 20th this year outside of Cork City Library at 3 p.m. Again, as I say, guys, socially distance. We're going to adhere to the health guidelines in place. This is not an anti-mask. This is not an anti-lockdown protest. This is a protest about one thing alone, which is the liberation of the cannabis plant, the undoing of the criminalisation and the discrimination of our cannabis consuming community. So that's what it's about, guys. And again, as I say, if you're out there and if you're not in Cork and if you want to do something, guys, I want to see as many of these events going on April 20th as many towns, cities, and counties across Ireland. Because again, that will help with maintaining then the following of social distancing and all of that stuff. And again, it's going to look great. Like, imagine if we have like 100 events all on the same day in around Ireland, all to do with cannabis liberation of the cannabis plant, the cannabis community. Happy fucking days, like that would really send a message out there. So as many as possible, and as well, just before I go on to the final piece of news, there's the Puff Pass event going on with the guys over at Major Smoke Up. It's where you take a smoke from one side of the screen and then you take a toke and then you pass it off to the other side of the screen. So do take part in that as well. Take your video, just record yourself get a smoke from one side, pass it to the other side, and send that video on then to the guys over at Major Smoke Up, and they will be releasing that video as well on 420. High on Homegrown is saying 2,500 fines and possible 10 years in prison for being involved with a protest, and that's over in the UK, saying it's not allowed to protest in the UK anymore. Yeah, that's fucking frightening, man. I talked about this last year as how COVID will change things and affect our day-to-day lives. I described it as the 9/11 of our times. How 9/11 changed flying. You can't fly now with fucking bottles of water anymore and all of this stuff. Like, all of the security checks are in place. Like, a lot of things we took for granted before, you can no longer do anymore because of 9/11. And now look at COVID. Like, very soon we're not even going to be able to protest anymore. I seen a protest in Cork yesterday and it describes itself as an essential protest. I'm like, what protest is an essential, really? Well, obviously, I suppose you could describe some that aren't, but you know, if a person believes they want to protest like that, that person should be entitled to that protest, and they shouldn't be fined or criminalised for it. So, final bit of news, guys, and it is that a court has adjourned a person's. They basically let a person off of a cannabis conviction because they made a donation to the court box. Now, in this case, and I have a little cutout, it was shared to me there by a fan of the show, and he redacted the name of the person, so thanks very much for doing that. But it was a man who was found in possession of a very small quantity of cannabis and had his case adjourned after he made a donation to the court pour box. Again, guys, I talked about this court pour box here in Ireland, if you're not aware of it. It's where if you get caught with cannabis, you go to court, maybe it's your first or second time, maybe even in my case, your seventh or eighth time getting caught with cannabis. You get an opportunity to pay money into a charity box, and the courts then donate that money at the end of the quarter or whatever it is to certain charities within the communities. And you don't get a conviction then if you make that donation. So you're basically like, it's like you're cleansing yourself, you know. It's like I think Orla kind of made that a comparison, you know, the way which before you'd go to the church and you'd buy your way to be clean, you know, you'd clear your sins with a bit of money. It's kind of the same thing here now in the courts. You know, you get caught with a bit of cannabis, it's like, you know, you are a very bad person, but look, just pay the money there to the court box and we let you off, and you can go off and, you know, be a good boy. It's mad to think, like. But what's crazy in this, and again, thanks to the person who sent this in, is they highlighted it. Inspector Stephen Murphy said the search was carried out at the accused's home on the day in question. So the Gardaí raided this man's home, and what they found in his home was €5 worth of cannabis. And for his €5 worth of cannabis, and for the Gardaí going raiding his home, for him having the pleasure of the Gardaí raiding his home, he was able to make the a large donation of €500. So basically 100 times the value of his cannabis, he had to make that donation. That's crazy, isn't it? Like 100 times the value. And now let's just think of for a second in comparison. If I go out now into my car at the moment, and if I go and speed down the road at 100 miles an hour, let's say, I get a €60 fine. Isn't that crazy? A €60 fine for speeding. Now, obviously, if I'm speeding excessively, they can take my license and stuff, like, but look, a €60 fine, like, looking at it, monitor from the financial side of it, like, you're punishing a person with €60 on one side, but this guy's getting €500. My speeding, if I was to get into my car and speed, I could kill somebody. Who's going to die from the €5 worth of cannabis? Nobody. Nobody's going to die. but we believe it's worthy of 100 times the value of what he got caught to punish him. That's crazy, like. And meanwhile, the people speeding at 60 euro fines, like that's so backwards. It really is so backwards, guys. And I don't know how we take it. I really don't know how we take it, because this man is happy. I bet you know, if you were to talk to this man about this outcome, I'm delighted. Yeah, that's the job. No conviction. 500 euro, I don't care. I'll give it to him. And I was there. I was in that situation for a while. I believe that kind of thing for the first one or two times. And then after that, it just got burdensome, because I had a young child, I had a young family, and I was working, and these donations to the charity box, they were sometimes more than my week's wage, which was sad for me. Like, I had to go to work for a week, more than a week, to pay back this donation to the poor box for what? For having my cannabis taken off me, cannabis which I would work hard to earn my wages to go and buy at the time, and I had my cannabis taken off me, and I got punished for that. It's like, it's so backwards, man. It's just so fucking backwards, really. And like, my cases go back from over 10 years ago. This stuff is still going on today, and I wonder how long more are we going to allow it. And I ask ye out there, guys, and everybody, like, how long more are we going to allow this? It's up to us to change this, take back our rights, because we do have a right to form, like, associations. We do have a right to consume cannabis, like, we do. It's entirely within our rights to do this. We allowed the government to take it away many years ago, when we didn't understand what they were taking away. Again, when I talk about it, cannabis was made illegal back in 1928 in Ireland under the Dangerous Drugs Act. And that was because of the UN. 1928, the UN passed the Opium Convention. And it was in 1934 then Ireland passed the Dangerous Drugs Act, which made cannabis illegal. But cannabis wasn't even consumed in Ireland then. It wasn't a thing here in Ireland. So we didn't realise what they were doing to us when they done it. Cannabis became a thing in, like, the 1960s. That's when that became a thing. And we seen then the rise of it over the time. It's mad to think, like, and even in one of these articles, actually, from today, one of the judges pointed out that up to 7% of people who consume cannabis go on to develop schizophrenia. Like, absolutely crazy to think that judges get to say that. Like, this was in the case of the man who was caught with the cannabis at the grow house, 66,000 worth of cannabis at his grow house, the guy with the murder and rape. This was Judge Johnson. He said that he did not agree that cannabis was a soft drug, because between 5 and 7% of people who used it went on to develop schizophrenia. Like, how in the name of God are judges getting away with saying stuff shit like? How can they say that? Like, really, like, that there is no evidence at all. Like, that is completely false. He's literally telling lies within the court. Crazy, like 5 to 7% of the people. Really, like, look at the amount of people who consume cannabis out there, like, and we do not see nearly anywhere near that a number of people. Like, how many people consume cannabis in the world, and how many people are schizophrenic in the world? It's not the same. It's crazy, like 5 to 7% of the people, like, and this guy, like, he's a judge, like, and people will respect that they think that, like, that's true. So fucking backwards, guys. So again, guys, as I say, I ask you out there that hopefully I will see more events pop up around the country here in Ireland, because we do have a right to protest. We do have a right to set up these events, unlike the guys over in England. So as long as we have that right, let's use it. So 420, guys, it is the World Cannabis Day, if you will. It is our national holiday. So let's reclaim it. It was taken from us last year, although we did kind of make efforts. I did an online protest myself last year, where I sat down in the field and I just smoked a joint on my Facebook, and that was kind of my, like, more of a coming out of the closet, and it was kind of a bit of the start of Martin's World, if you will. So yeah, so let's reclaim 420 this year. Let's get back to some of your comments out there, guys, because I have a meeting to go to in 10 minutes, and I'll have to get off and make it this week because I missed it last week. Over 700 kilometers so far today, bro, and still have 150 odd till home. And that's coming in from Greenbeard, man. And he's working away hard there. So fair play, Greenbeard. And that's Greenbeard from the High and Home Grow podcast. And shout out to Greenbeard as well. Myself and Greenbeard have been conversing there, and we're going to be launching a little project soon. Where for the cost of a stamp, basically we will send you maybe 10 or 20 cannabis seeds for you to maybe grow some of them at home for your own consumption, but we would encourage you to grow more of them outside in public, a little guerrilla growing campaign that we're kind of engaging in. So again, guys, for the cost of a stamp, it's only €1. We'll post the seeds to you anywhere at all in Ireland, maybe 10 or 20 seeds. We'll have a website up there very soon where you'll be able to make the donation of the euro to cover the cost of the stamp. And you can get your address to us, or a safe address where we can post you those seeds. And again, just engage in this, what is a civil disobedience campaign to overgrow the government. So shout out to the High and Homegrown and the Greenbeard and the Percy's Grow Room. That's a forum as well, and there'll be a thread over there that'll be covering all of the guerrilla growing across Ireland as well. And shout out to the Streamlabs as well for not dropping any frames today, and to me Virgin Media internet suppliers. Jason Lee is saying, going to be a langer load of plainclothes there on the day, lads, be careful. Lads, it's not hard to spot the plainclothes. I actually took a photo of one there the last day. It's so funny, man. He has the what was it, the cross-hatched stuff. Oh man, it's so funny, like the clothes they wear. They buy all their stuff there from what's that place? They shop all out of the same place. It's crosshatch stuff and all of that stuff. It's funny enough, like you spot a cop a mile away when he's undercover. Like, it's not hard at all if you know what to look for. Another human right taken away from us, and that's coming up in WRT Gunner 43, 100%, man. And it's up to us now to fight for it back, like the guys over in Spain did, and they were successful, and I believe we can be successful too. Using this opportunity to pass more draconian laws without us noticing, and that's coming up High and Homegrown. Yeah, I agree with you, man. They certainly are. They don't miss an opportunity. There was an old politician said before, don't let no what was it, travesty go to waste. So it's an opportunity for them. I think if Ireland legalised, UK do because of Northern Ireland. Yeah, and I think vice versa is true also, and that's coming up Martin Dwyer, that if UK were to do it, I think we would do it as well because of Northern Ireland. Who else is out there commenting, guys? Sean is saying, take a slap of this hammer or give me a finger. Sick of extortion being a way of life. We all really need to just stand up and take it all back. 100%, Sean, man. We can't accept this stuff. Challenge the charges in the courts, guys. Not guilty. Stand up for your rights. You have a right to consume cannabis and stand up for them. Claim you're not guilty in court. Look up your human rights. You have a right to bodily integrity. You have a right to freedom of travel. You have a right to liberty, the ability to get a job and all of this stuff. And by criminalising you for your choice to use cannabis, they're violating those rights, and it's not right. As I say, they've only gotten away with it because we've allowed them to get away with it up until this point. So it's up to us now. Stand up, challenge the charges, go not guilty. Don't pay these fucking donations to the charity box. Take your conviction, just challenge it all the way. Appeal, lodge an appeal. Always lodge an appeal if you get convicted. It'll just wreck their heads. Just wreck their heads, lads. Let's wreck the system. Like, that's it. Like, anarchy. That's the only way, but it's peaceful anarchy. Like, we're engaging with the system in a peaceful way. We're using it to our advantage. Let's, like, as I said, there's a massive backlogs in the courts at the moment. Like, if we all started appealing the cases, they had to put back my appeal. My appeal was supposed to be up on the 26th of February, and they put it back now until the 6th of May. I'm back up in court on the 6th of May for my €10 cannabis charge because I appealed it. I'm wrecking their heads. I'm being a thorn in their side as much as they're a thorn in my side. Do you know, tit for tat, if you will. Obviously they can lock me up, but so what? Like, I don't really care. Like, that's all they can do. I was only talking a while ago about this, that the fact that I'm here, I'm so vocal about this calling for a change of the laws. I'm actually much more worried about the criminals out there because they have a lot more to lose. So if a criminal comes and targets me because of what I'm saying here, like, I could lose my life. But if the guards come and target me because of what I'm saying here, because of standing up for my rights, I only lose my freedom, but it's only for a temporary period of time. And while I'm up there, I get gym, I get TV, I get friends, you know, I get food. It's good. It's great. It's a holiday camp, if you will, if you can actually enjoy it. Obviously, it's fucking a torture for me because I have two kids who every second I'm away from, it's kills me. But I'm willing to kind of give that up, if you will, because I know it's only for a temporary period of time. But I'm much more worried about the criminals out there who could come and target me because of what I'm saying here, and not take my freedom but take my life. Scary, like, but that's it is the reality. That's what happened to Veronica Guerin, I suppose, when she was highlighting the drug gangs going back at the time, and she got targeted at that time. They snuffed out her life for speaking up against them and what they were doing and stuff. I don't think she was calling for decriminalisation or legalisation, but she was highlighting what was going on there. And CAB, the Criminal Assets Bureau, then came about as a result of all of that stuff, as we know. But look, let's not get into all of that. Like like Black the Ripper, yeah, 100%. Rest in peace as well. I think he passed away, didn't he? Black the Ripper. That was the guy who was doing all of this kind of just straight up just smoking. The London's Eye, I think, was his thing as well, where he just fogged out the London's Eye. We gotta pray Gino's bill is bulletproof. And I had a chat with Gino last night, actually, and it was a very good chat. I really enjoyed it, and it seems now that the bill is in the hands of the community. So the community is going to be formulating the bill. So the bill is certainly going to be representative of the needs and desires of the community. So let's hope it will be bulletproof. And as I say, I'm going to be doing everything in my power now to see that bill get accepted, you know, force the hand of the government through these acts of civil disobedience by just wrecking their heads in the system, causing a backlog, and, you know, all of that paperwork, all of that overtime, that costs money. Like, as I say, Shadow Bomb is saying here, people need to back Gino's bill once it's published. We all need to contact our elected reps and force them to see the light. 100%, guys, definitely pick up the phone, engage, send letters, definitely engage with all of them. But you know, Fine Gael, Fine Foyle, I wouldn't hold my breath, but I wouldn't say not to contact them as well. You know, by all means, engage every tool that's available to us to do this. Mustawis is saying, or not, Mustawis is actually replying to Martin at the wire there. He's saying it can be bomb-proof, but if they follow the party whip, there's feck all chance it's passing. We need a free vote in the Dáil. And that's what Gino is going to be asking for. He will be asking for a free vote, so hopefully he gets it. Keith saying here, awesome news again, Martin, as always. Keep her lit, bro. Nice one, Keith, man. It's a pleasure to have you, as always. High and Homegrown is saying, he is just driving me mental, mate. It's not actual miles. Other comments coming in here. Manshore Fudge, roll on the Gorilla Crew. Can't wait. Excellent, Manshore. I hope you're going to be a part of this. And guys, if you don't want to give me your address, and if you're in Cork, or if you're above in other areas, we'll make areas available if you want to just pick up seeds. We'll have elected representative in certain areas where you could just go on certain days and times and collect seeds if you don't want them posted to your house as well. So we will work to facilitate you in whatever way we can. Other people out there as well. John Q, he's saying, what's happening, lads? And is Leo gone from the government? Martin Dwyer is asking. I don't know, actually, to be honest. There's certainly calls for him to go because of him being a leak and spilling the beans about certain documents and stuff like that. But I think at the moment he's still in there anyway, as far as I know. And Man Falls is saying, free the weed. Yes, get it in there, Man Falls. I love it when somebody says it, like somebody has to say it. Yes, free the weed. So guys, I'm going to take one more talk. Cop up Babylon. I see a super chat coming in from Jamie Power. Fair play, Martin. Keep her lit. Or keep it up, he's saying. Thanks very much, Jamie, man. It's an absolute pleasure, guys. Thanks very much for the support to the show. I will be utilising those finances very soon in order to get a place outside of here, better internet connection, and to be able to get the audience into the show then as well, make it even more interactive. So again, guys, appreciate all of your support there. All of the comments, all of the likes, all of the shares, and all of the super chats. It really is much appreciated, guys. So thanks again there to Jamie Power. Guys, super chat is just a function over on YouTube where you can make a donation, but you can comment as well, and there's some emoticons and things like that there as well that you can. It just supports the show. All of the money then, I'm not too sure how much YouTube take out of that. I don't think they take anything, if anything at all. But I'll be able to use it then in order to develop this activist hub and to improve the show, to get yourselves in here, to grow the community and to fight for cannabis legalization more effectively too. And we certainly need that, you know, we really do need that here, and very soon. So I see Arcadia as well, man. Arcadia, thanks very much, lads. You're all fucking legends. Much love to you there. Really, much respect. I can't say thanks enough. You know, he's saying, oh no, he sent in a pair character lifting some weight, saying keep it up. Excellent. That's the job. I'm gonna have to work on it. I don't know did that pop up on YouTube there for you guys if you've seen that over on YouTube, the pair man, but I didn't see it here. I just seen my little comment tag. That's a pity. Really wish you had 1 million plus subs. Lads, that would be epic if I had 1 million plus subs, because that would mean this call for civil disobedience would be getting out to a lot more people. It's not about me, but it's about the message. Like, that's what the show is all about. It's about to the community. It's about undoing the wrongs that have been done for so long. We're just trying to show, like, I'm just a normal person. Here I am consuming a bit of cannabis throughout the show. Like, I'm not becoming incoherent. You know, I'm not falling off my chair. I'm not slurring my words. I'm an upstanding member of society. I've engaged in my community in different ways. I've volunteered. I've gone and educated myself. You know, I pay my taxes. I want to see when I buy cannabis, like I want to see the taxes collected from that go back to help our communities as well. Unlike the way in which it currently is, where we're currently supporting murderers and rapists. That's what the show is about, guys. So yeah, if I had 1 million subs, like that would fucking blow me away. So do, guys, if you're over on Facebook, do go over and give me a subscribe over on YouTube. If you're on Facebook or YouTube, do go over onto Twitch there as well, guys, and give me a follow over on Twitch as well. Let's help grow the show, help get this message carried out further to more people. Let's help normalize cannabis use and cannabis users, because again, we are just normal everyday people. Like, you know, we come from all walks of life. It's not just the young fellas and the hoodies that do drugs. You know? Any questions about growing the plant to buys at High and Homegrown? We'll have the answers for you, and that's coming in from Gunner43. Yeah, guys, for all your growing eats, get over to the High and Homegrown podcast. Give the lads a follow and a subscribe there as well. And Percy's Grow Room as well is a great spot to go and get all the growing information you need. It's a forum run by growers for growers, so it's like, what more could you ask for? Mustawa says, don't forget to like the video. Nice one, Mustawa. And Martin Dwyer, I had you meant a free vote. Yeah, a free vote, I think it's called, yeah, for the free vote, yeah. Is it a free vote or an open vote? One of those anyway, where the party whip doesn't get to whip their members to vote in a certain way. And Manfoil is saying shares for the show, and Martin O'Dwyer says I send address in the mail. Nice one, that's for the old Gorilla Growing. Excellent, we've addresses coming in there already, Greenbird. Excellent, we've the recruits signing up. Happy days, lads. We'll have an army of people out there before we know it, growing cannabis all over the country, for the reason of legalising it, not for not for any other reasons. Thank you for doing what you're doing, Martin. Keep her lit, man. Thanks very much, guys. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for doing what you're doing out there as well, taking the time out of your day to come and watch me give out about all of this criminalisation. It's much appreciated. So guys, I will sign off with that one. Thanks very much, everybody, for your interactions today. It's been an absolute pleasure. I will be back Monday, guys, with some more 420 news. So have a lovely weekend, guys. Stay blazed. Keep her lit. Much love and peace.